Hello YouTube, Nalina here, and today I am back with another speed build. I am building in Newcrest, so this is a house that I built before we got the update in the game with the new roofing tool and before Cats and Dogs came out. So this house was inspired by a image. I think I was looking up Victorian homes or something like that. Not really sure. I'm not really sure what I was looking up. Had to be Victorian host because it's got that little octagonal. Well, it's not octagonal. There's only like what a couple of. There's not eight sides there. It's just that little corner over there that I've been trying to make a house with that specific room since The Sims 1, and I was like I don't know 12ish, 4, 13, 12, 13. I don't know. I've been trying for all my years that I've been playing The Sims, and I finally feel that I've done so successfully. I'm very happy. Yay! So I was looking at homes. I think I was actually looking at the Bates home, and I ended up just going on like a search tangent for houses. It might have been Victorian though, because I was working on at the time a vampire build, which I still haven't even shared one for that. And I'm just like, I haven't even played with vampires. Ugh, so busy. But anyway, so this house was, I wouldn't say inspired, mostly inspired. Yeah. So it was inspired because that little like piece of the house that sticks out, the entrance was actually in that room. And I was like, this is really interesting. Like, usually that part of the house is like on the side or in the back somewhere. Like, it's just like this weird room. I don't know what people would use that kind of room for. But in this house, on this house, it was actually in the front. It was the main entrance, and I thought that was so cool. So I was like, I'm gonna duplicate this in my game. I've said this before recently that I have been looking at houses and just replicating them in the game to the best of my ability. Of course, I'm only getting one perspective of the house, so the rest of it has to be just pure imagination. So I didn't bring any extra rooms like that little roundish. I don't even know what it's called. Little roundish. Um, I didn't bring any of those rooms to the back. So we're just yeah. I don't remember what I was saying. So we're just working on the roofing right now. I had to kind of figure out the rest of the house, and I've been again just trying to make my houses more interesting. Been using real life inspiration or just plain out copying the one side of the house so that I can just get myself going. So I've done that. This would be 3 times. I've done my cat and dog house. I've done um, the first Brindleton Bay build. I did the same thing. I was looking at tiny homes because I was trying to get back into that. I had actually had a real passion to do tiny homes, and then I don't know what happened. I just, I think I stopped building for a while, and then I came back and I was doing tiny homes again, but I stopped. I just lost all desire to be bothered, so I had stopped. So as you can see here, this was before we received the new roofing tool, so it has that roof. However, the one that is in the gallery that I've uploaded actually has the new the new roof with the angles. So it'll be there, the one that we have now. I've updated it since then. You'll see it actually in the screenshots. So I took so much time with this build, and I was super devastated because I had done this build the day before or the weekends before the update slash um release of Cats and Dogs, and when I came into my worlds, anything that I had done before the release of the update was completely lost. Actually, it was not after the update because we already had Brindleton Bay. So I think we uploaded the game, and then after Cats and Dogs came out, there was like another update. So it wasn't the first one. It was the second one that you did after the Cats and Dogs came out. Because of course I remember now that I did the speed builds. And then that second update completely erased everything. I came in, I was going to furnish this. I had already started furnishing it actually on the inside, which is not included in this video because the build itself took me so long. And I've actually managed to cut out about 7 minutes of just stuff that was just me like walking away from the computer because it took me so long to do this build. Like I really put in a lot of time and attention to it. I knew what I knew that I needed to figure it out. Like it just wasn't gonna go together in 2 seconds. It wasn't gonna be something quick because I'm not really, even though I build a lot and a lot, but I just kind of do it like I know that it needs parts A, B, and C, and I don't really think about usually how I put those parts together. In a way, I would say that I don't think about it too much because I feel like if I did, it would stop me. But I knew that I was gonna create this home for this family that I have in my game, and I've been building them a house like every 3 weeks. They get a new home because I'm just never satisfied. Whoops, never satisfied. So I decided once more I was gonna go ahead and make them a home, but this time I really wanted to put in my all. I totally, I used that picture. I looked at it like forever, and I kept referencing it back just to see. It actually, like, the front of the house was way, well, the sides of the house were way different than I have in my game. So I would say, even though I intended to completely copy it, after I had that initial, like, um, side done, I was just like, okay, I felt free enough to go off on my own and just do what I felt what I felt was right for the house. Like I really put a lot of thought and effort into it, which, as I said, I usually do that, but I get kind of like burned out really easily because I feel all the time like I'm trying to produce something and then I'm just like and then I give up. Not with a lot of my builds that I share on YouTube, but just in general. So I don't really share that many. Um, but yeah, so right here you see I finally painted the walls, put in the windows. Um, the windows again in the picture on that little weird room that sticks out in the corner. It it does have windows like that, like all around. They're more centered, but because I had the windows in an angle, I couldn't really get them how they were in the picture. So I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna do it like this. That's fine. I like it. And I went ahead and I did it. You know, I'm feeling really self-conscious that I said I don't put too much effort into my builds. I put a lot of effort into them. They stress me out. But I really do because I've been building in The Sims since I was really young and I've never done it successfully. So now that I'm older, like I've learned to do it a little bit better from watching other people and just feeling a little bit more liberty and seeing, but I think there's a lot more cheats in since The Sims 2. I don't know if the same like move object cheats was available in the Sims 1 game. So like I couldn't use those cheats, I kind of had to there was no making objects bigger or making them smaller, you just had to like, and if the room was too big, then oh boy, it was just gonna look empty and you're gonna be like tossing your table to the side. So I'm putting everything together here. And I was going to mention that I painted the walls. And while I like how light the house was, I just kept feeling like I don't really want it to be this color. So what I really wanted it to stick out a little bit more. I mean, I really like the white, but it was driving me crazy to keep everything so light. On the inside, I in the inside, the main areas have the same like wallpaper, but then the bedrooms are much more individually decorated. So they're each very different. There's one room like all the way at the top of the stairs for my character. She's like into video games and she's just like completely enveloped and distracted by these things. So she's got like clothes all over the floor. Like her room is just a hot mess. So that's what I did for her. And then I got another one into fashion and I really liked what I did with her bedroom. I did something that I don't normally do. And the funny thing is that I was putting in this light. And because I'm not used to having the option to make the object smaller, I was just like, damn it, I wish that this light was smaller, but it didn't occur to me to make it smaller because when I finally furnished the home, we had that option already, but I didn't think about it and I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to put this light in as big as it is, and it's I think one of the dining lights that hangs and it's like really long. Oh my gosh. I was like, this I'm just gonna put it in there like this. And I put it in the corner next to her vanity, and it just looks so good. I was like, why have I never done this before? But I really like, it took 5 hours almost. It was 4 hours and like 36 minutes, I think, building this. And the only reason why I had finally like stopped was because I knew I wanted to share this and I was like, this video is gonna be way too long. How am I gonna cut this out? Like, oh my gosh. So I just decided to do the front. So here I am trying to, oh, at this point we're spending actual money. So I had to like remove the wallpaper and then go back in. Why did I remove the red? It was just up there. Yeah. So this is me trying to bring that, like trying to bring some color and some contrast into the build. And then I go with the red house. Because my thing is that this family just like they wear red. Like dad wears red, his father wears red, his whole family wears red. So now they have this red house, and I was building it for them. And I was like, the house is meant to be red, but I had initially, of course, as you saw, done it that really light blue, which I thought was really really pretty. But then I was like, no, I need the contrast. I need it to pop. So that's when I went ahead and changed the color finally. And of course, I had to like strip the wallpaper down because I moved the family in, and so now I was actually spending their money because I wanted to move them in before I furnished it. But then I feel so guilty doing that, so I like never played the game until it was completely furnished and done. So that's what happens. And again, we don't do the furnishing in this video. I know this video is like really super long, and I cut out like 7 minutes, and it's still like it was 33 minutes long before editing all those pieces out because I had uploaded it 1,000 times to the gallery, so I cut all of that stuff out. Another thing about the family is that um, they're very into, or at least the dad is, like he's a fisherman and he's very into gardening, which he gets from his mom, and one of his daughters is very into gardening as well. So he's got 3 girls and 2 boys. Two of the girls are twins, and then the boys are twins. So that's what happened. This family is like always having twins and triplets. Like it's crazy. I'm just like, you guys, stop. I can't take the toddler stage. It's too much. Just one baby at a time, please. But yeah. So here we are putting some flowers in, some floral landscaping. I initially did not want to landscape. Um, I really do like just the like clean green grass because as a lazy person, I just think about how exhausting it will be to maintain that. And I'm just like, are they gonna like want to do this? Like, even though, because again, I've been playing Sims since Sims 1. And in The Sims 1, if you had all of these bushes everywhere and these trees and these flowers on your landscape, oh my god, your sim would be there for 1,000 years. So yeah, every time I put down any kind of landscaping, that's the only thing I can think about. That's the only thing that's on my mind. I'm just like, I would waste so much time just landscaping, like to the point where in The Sims 1, I was like, forget this. I don't want it. We don't need it. I stopped messing around with the landscaping. I was just like, I can't deal with this. It's taking up too much time. And, back then you had to stand in the mirror and speak to the mirror just to get your charisma up. Like, you had to talk to yourself, you had to read books. Like, having friends did not earn you any charisma points, but um at the same time, you still needed to make friends in order to get a promotion at work. So it's like, have 5 friends, like the first thing, and then have 10 friends and make 15 friends up to 20 friends. I think 20 was like the max. Or maybe it was 30. Holy smokes, because you would make these friends and then you would have to like constantly have them in your house. Which at the time, I mean, I guess it wasn't a big deal. You probably had all the time in the world to do that because your Sims didn't really age and die. They just sort of lived forever. I think Sims 2 introduced like the generational aspect of the game. But like back then, oh noes. You would just play forever and then your friendships would decrease like super fast. So it's just like you had to constantly just be inviting them over and inviting them over and like having dinner and talking to them all the time and calling them on the phone. And then to go and try to like stand in the mirror and gain that charismatic skill. And then when The Sims, I think in The Sims 3 is when you were able to have friends and earn charisma. Or is that a Sims 4 thing? I can't really. I think it's a Sims 4 thing where I was like, finally, it's possible. I don't have to do two separate things because I mean, obviously, right? If I'm talking to someone, I'm gonna gain some kind of confidence in my successful conversations, you know? Which is something I experience in real life. So that being a aspect in the game is just like this is real for me because I am so shy and I don't like talking to people. Like even starting to do this voiceover for my videos, like I was, if you listen to when I first started, I would be like, "Hello YouTube," and I'm like, "Oh my god," on the inside, like cringing, cringing, cringing. Like, what am I doing? And then it didn't help that like my dad was home all the time. And so I had to kind of like keep my voice down. But then it got to the point where he's like, "Who are you talking to in the room all the time?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then one time I was walking down the hallway and I was talking to my dog because she's always behind me. And I'm like, "Come here, Chiquita." And he's like, "Who are you talking to? Why are you always talking to yourself?" And I'm like, "I'm talking to the dog." But in actuality, I used to speak a lot to a friend in the UK that I have because we would spend a lot of time screen sharing and drawing with our other friends from around the world. Like we have friends in Mexico, Portugal, and I think there was one in California. It was about 5 of us, but yeah, it was 5 of us. 1, 2, 3, yeah. But me and him spent the most time together, just drawing, chatting, and then we did also spend a lot of time with the other three. Um, Usually it was like 3 of us or 4 of us, but yeah, we spent the most time. So I was actually talking to him, but like my dad just picked the most awkward time to ask me about why I was talking to myself, and I'm like, I'm not talking to myself. I have online friends that I talk to, and I'm like, I'm playing World of Warcraft and I'm chatting on the freaking, on vents at the time with my friends and my guildies. Like, I'm speaking to real people, I'm not just talking to the wall, unlike I do now. But yeah, it took me a very long time, even chatting in with my guildies in World of Warcraft. I was still like, I kept really quiet, kept to myself. It's taken a lot for me to be comfortable and even do this. So when the game was finally like, you're making friends and that's giving you charisma points, is basically saying to me, okay, you're becoming better at doing this. So I was like, this is so perfect. Like, why didn't they do this 1,000 years ago? Because it just makes sense. But anyway, so that's one of my favorite things. I like that they took, I mean, the cleaning skill is another one that we like had. So the more you clean, the faster your sim cleaned. Um, and it wouldn't take them like 500 years to clean. But in The Sims 4, it's like the cleaning skill is there, but it doesn't really count for anything. I'm like, that's so strange. Did they forget about you? Are they still like on the fence, wondering if they're gonna add this? Do we really need this? Kind of. Is that where they are? Is that why you kind of exist, but you're not listed anywhere? It's so strange. I also really like the options we have with Higher Sims fitness goes up. Like, you don't just have to use the equipment. You could go for a jog, or you can like use the TV now, which I was like, oh my god, yes, because they have like the dancing workouts. And not that I am that active anymore, but when I was younger, I used to work out so much. And then I got a dog, and he was a shepherd, German shepherd mixed with a pit bull. So he had the height of a German shepherd with the build and thickness of a pit bull. So he was huge. And as a baby, he would sit on my feet or sleep on my feet. He really didn't like for me to hold him. Like, he didn't like to be carried, which made me really sad because I'm like, I want to snuggle. Like, what are you doing? But he wasn't about that life. So he would like always get in my way. And when I would try to like work out, do sit ups, push ups, whatever, as he got bigger, he would stand over me. And I remember I was sitting doing sit ups, and my face just went straight into his belly. Whoops, I hit the mic. And I was just like, you know what? I'm good. And I stopped. I think at that point, shortly after, I got into video games, and I have not gotten up to work out since. um, I've tried getting back into it a few times, but now I just so like, I feel like I need to play, I need to play, I need to be doing something else that I don't put any time or effort into. Not as much as I used to, because before it was priority. Now I'm just like, I'll sit down and play The Sims, or I'll play some Dragon Age or something. I'm finally playing Skyrim again because I never beat it. I picked up too many side quests, and then I was like feeling stressed. And so I was just like, you know what? Forget it. Like, that's it. I'm done. And I never picked it up again. So I've just started it today. Actually, I created my character. I'm gonna be a Nord character. I usually play Imperial because of their persuasion skill. I like that. But yeah. Anyway, so we're out here in the backyard, and this part was pretty easy in comparison to everything else I was doing. Um, Except for this, like, I don't know. Every time I try to put seats down, things get a little weird for me. I feel like I'm never putting a seat down at an angle successfully. And I'm just like, why does it look great when everyone else does it? But when I try to do it, it just looks really weird. But whatever. So that's why it ended up like this. If anything, I should have actually swapped the seats. I should have put that table on the other corner. Oh well. So I do furnish the outside, but you will not see the furnishing of the inside. I think I'm just gonna post. I do furnish the inside, but it took me like a week to furnish the inside. Like, every day, I would do a couple of the rooms, thinking about the characters, because I find it much easier to furnish when I have an idea of what I need to put in the house. Like, I watched Devin Bumpkin build, and he's not building for anyone in particular, I don't think. But he just makes his houses and his apartments, his builds look amazing. The furnishing, I'm just like, drool. I also really like the way Luki furnishes, and Deligracy, of course. She's like amazing. Devin Bumpkin is also really amazing, and I really like Luki. The thing that I like about Luki's furnishing is that he is very color coordinated. So he'll like grab a wallpaper, and then his like furniture will have like that same exact tone of color. And I'm like, oh my god, like I tend to go over the top with colors. This build is a lot more muted though, for sure. But anyway, we're reaching the end of the build. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you again next time. Okay?